Morning came. The sun rose over that compound the same way it always did. Warm, patient, lighting everything equally, the full house inside and the abandoned lantern outside. The lantern had burned itself completely out through the night, every last drop of kerosene gone. The sandals were still there, exactly where they had been left. Nobody had moved them, nobody had looked for them, nobody had come. Inside the house, life was starting again, the same way it always did, as if somewhere in the back of that compound, Ngozi's daughter was not lying still on the bare ground. But this morning, something was different. Someone was coming. She had traveled a long way to keep a promise she made beside a dying woman's bed. But to understand that promise, you'll have to go back farther, much further, to a city, to an office, to two young women who had no idea that meeting each other would change everything. Their desks were side by side. That was how it started. Two young women hustling in the city, working hard, building their lives, trying to make something out of nothing, the way young people do when the world is not sure what to do with them. Ngozi was the warm one, the one who always had food to share and a smile for everyone, the one who always made room feel like home just by being in it. Mama Grace was the steady one, the one who had showed up always, the one whose word once given was as good as done. They started sharing lunch, then they started sharing everything else, their worries, their dreams, their laughter, their small everyday victories, and their quiet private struggles. The natural easy comfort of two people who have become each other's person without either of them planning it, without either of them even noticing it happening, until one day they looked at each other and understood, this is my sister, not my blood, but by something deeper and truer than blood. And then one day, Ngozi came to Mama Grace with shining eyes and said, I have met someone. His name is Emeka. He is from the village and I am going to marry him. Mama Grace had held her hands across the desk and looked at her face, that warm, radiant face that had made the office feel like home for so many years. And she had smiled, even though part of her heart was already beginning to miss her. Go, she said. Go and be happy. You deserve every bit of it. I will always find you. And Ngozi had laughed and said, I know you will. You always show up. She went to the village. She married Emeka. She swept the compound every morning with song on her lips and a baby on her back. She built the life she had always dreamed of. And Mama Grace, she stayed in the city. She kept building. She eventually went abroad, but the friendship never faded, not once. Distance could not touch what they had built side by side at those office desks, until the day Ngozi called and her voice was different, quiet and thin in a way that Mama Grace had never heard before. And she said, Grace, I need you to promise me something. She had traveled to be at her bedside. She had held her hand. She had watched the woman who had made every room feel like home slowly becoming still and quiet. And with the last of her strength, Ngozi had held her hand and asked her one thing. Find my daughter. Please, find my Adaeze. Promise me. I promise. Mama Grace had said, I promise you. She had carried that promise across years, across distance, across everything that life had brought between then and now. And something, she could not explain what, had told her that today was the day she needed to come. She looked around the compound, the way she looked around a place that holds the memory of someone you loved, remembering Ngozi everywhere she looked. The swept ground, the cooking area, the compound that had once been full of her warmth. And then she saw them. tiny sandals beside the well, a burned out lantern on the ground, and no child anywhere in sight. She walked to the well and picked up the sandal and held it in her hand. And in that moment, holding that tiny worn shoe, she felt the full weight of every year she had stayed away, every year she had meant to come sooner, every year the promise had waited. The lantern was cold. It had burned through the entire night alone. "Ngozi," she said quietly, "I am here. I'm here now. I kept my promise." She turned to the neighbors. "Where is the child? Where is Ngozi's daughter?" They shifted. They looked at the ground, the way people do when they have watched something wrong happen quietly for a long time and choosing to say nothing. One woman pointed towards the back of the compound, quietly, as if even pointing was something she was afraid of. Mama Grace did not ask another question. She did not wait for another answer. She turned and moved. Not walked, moved. The way a woman moves when she has a promise to keep and she is running out of time. And there in the narrow, forgotten back corner of that compound, she found Ngozi's daughter, Adaeze, laying completely still on the bare dusty ground, alone. The way she had always been left, alone. For one terrible moment, Mama Grace could not breathe, could not move, could not do anything but stand there and feel the full weight of every single thing that had happened to this child while she was far away. Then something in her broke open and she dropped to her knees, right there in the dust. Her handbag slipped from her arm and fell to the ground behind her. Her wrapper sprayed in the dust, but she did not notice. She did not care. In that moment, she was not the elegant woman who had traveled from abroad. She was not the woman in the cream and gold and pearls. She was just Grace, Ngozi's Grace, and Ngozi's daughter was lying on the ground in front of her. "Ngozi," she whispered. "Ngozi, I found her. I found your baby. I'm so sorry it took me this long. I found her." She was alive, just exhausted, so deeply and completely exhausted that her small body had simply given out and stopped right there in the back of the compound where nobody ever came. Mama Grace touched her face the way her mother would have touched it, the way nobody had touched it in a very long time. And when Adaeze opened her eyes, she saw a stranger looking down at her. But the way the stranger was looking at her, with that much love, that much grief, that much fierce protection, Adaeze had not seen anyone looked at her like that since her mother. And somehow, even lying in the dust of a forgotten corner, she understood. Someone had come. Someone had finally come. First, she made sure Adaeze was safe. She gave her water. She held her until she could sit up. Then she went to find the people responsible. She did not shout. She did not cry. She simply stood in the center of the house and placed a tiny sandal on the table between them. And then she spoke. She spoke about Ngozi, about the promise, about what she had found on the back of that compound lying in the dust, about the sandals beside the well, about the burned out lantern, about the empty plates on the floor in the corner, about all of it, every single thing she had seen. The stepmother sat very still, the way people sit when the truth is being spoken about them and there is absolutely nowhere left to hide. And the father, the man who had once carried his daughter on his shoulders through the market and looked up at her with pure adoration, sat in silence as something behind his eyes slowly and painfully began to wake up. But Mama Grace had not come for apologies. She had not come for explanations. She had not come to watch a man wake up too late. She had come for one thing only, and she was not leaving without her. She packed everything Adaeze owned. It did not take long. There was very little: a small faded dress, a pair of worn sandals that had sat beside a well through an entire night with nobody coming for them, a cloth doll that had survived everything its owner had survived. She packed each thing as if it were made of the finest gold, because to her it was. Every one unfaded thing in that bundle had been touched by Ngozi's daughter, and that made every single piece of it precious beyond any measure. She looked at that empty nail on the wall for one long moment. She then picked up the bundle and she did not look back. They walked out of that compound together, one pair of cream-heeled shoes, one pair of small new sandals, side by side, hand in hand. The bundle of everything Adaeze owned tucked under one arm. The neighbors watched from their doorways in silence, some with relief, some with shame, some with tears they did not know what to do with. All of them knowing that what they were watching was long overdue. Adaeze walked beside Mama Grace and held her hand and did not fully understand yet where they were going, but the hand holding hers was warm and firm and completely certain, and that was enough. Mama Grace did not look back. She had made a promise to her best friend and she has kept it. There was nothing left in the compound for either of them. 2 sets of footprints in the dust, one large, one small, walking away from everything that had tried to break this child, walking towards everything she was always meant to become. And for the first time in a very long time, Adaeze walked towards something instead of walking away from it. The compound gate closed behind them, and the road ahead was golden.